Hey guys, teacher Megan here. I wanted to talk about maternity leave and VIPKID. As you can hear, I have a little one. He's my first. He is almost 8 months old. He's having fun on his Leapfrog Groove and Learn. I'm using my headset to sort of minimize the amount of background noise from him. But okay, so lots of women who work for VIP Kid ask about maternity leave and losing students and losing contracts, and I'm just going to share my experience. So, working up until your due date. This would be a decision based on sort of how healthy your pregnancy is and the recommendation of your OB. I worked up until a week before my due date. So I was due on January 24th, and I worked that, which was a Thursday, I believe. No, it was a Tuesday. I don't remember now. It was so long ago. But anyway, I worked that previous week before my due date week. And then I didn't open any slots around my due date. He was born 2 days after my due date. I went into labor a day after. So there wasn't a whole lot of waiting around period. And I wasn't at risk of anything like preterm birth or anything like that because I had had a healthy pregnancy up until the very end. So I let all the parents know in my feedback when I would be coming back, which I'll get to in a minute, but every single class. So I have lots of regulars. I have very rarely have a new to me student, or at least at that time, that was the case. And so every single feedback I would put in my a little like thing about my maternity leave. Most parents don't actually like read the feedback, or at least my regular students. So I would still end up getting priority booking requests, which I would have to turn down and explain again about my maternity leave. So at that time, I thought that I would only be taking about 3 months off for maternity leave. But I ended up taking twice that. I ended up taking 6 months off, which is like an unusually long time. I didn't have any issues from VIPKID's end. Like I put in a ticket and I basically said I'm taking maternity leave. I'll probably be back around this time. But when I didn't come back at that time, I didn't contact them again, and I didn't do anything until kind of got toward the end of my contract, and I thought, okay, well, I renewed my contract right after the baby came, and I needed to teach like at least a few classes before that contract was up so that they didn't choose not to give me a new contract. So that's pretty much why I started teaching when I did. Things were just really difficult for me adjusting to a new baby. I'm an older mom and we were living in a new place, and my husband works full time and I'm trying to stay at home mom gig thing. And it was just didn't seem like I'd be able to fit it into my schedule, especially while he was waking up in the middle of the night. To get up and teach, to have him wake up at 2 a.m. for feeding and then at 4 a.m. for feeding and then get up and teach, I just couldn't manage it. I know a lot of women do, and like more power to you. You guys are awesome. I don't do well on not very much sleep, and I don't do well with early mornings. Why am I doing this job? No, but anyway, so it took me a while to get back into the groove. Plus, we have a guest bedroom in the house where my office is, or classroom. I call it an office. So, we had people visiting, and we needed to keep the room set up for family and guests. And I have to set up this room a little funky to make my desk fit, and so it becomes inconvenient. And I just didn't want to deal with all the hassle of putting up the classroom again and getting everything set up and adjusting my hours. But I eventually made it back, and immediately, as soon as I opened my schedule, I got booked for some trials, and they signed up. Yay. And also some of my regulars came back. So that's been really nice. Not all of my regulars, because I don't have enough availability for all of them. And I think some of them, I'm working on the weekends now, whereas before I was doing weekdays. So I think that not all of them are able to come back to me. But one of my favorites came back, and that just makes me so happy. So almost immediately I had bookings. So if you're an established teacher like I am, and you've been working for a while and you have a good base of students and a decent amount of followers, good ratings, you shouldn't have any problems getting your schedule booked after the baby comes, once you open, after you took a leave of absence. I mean, I took 6 months off. I was surprised that A, the sales team even put any trials with me, and B, that my regulars came back. Occasionally I'll have holes in my schedule. Like right now, I have, for this coming weekend, I have one slot that didn't book, and I'm not sure why, but I'm hoping it'll book before the weekend comes. And yeah, so it was like nothing ever happened, which is really nice. I didn't have any issues getting my contract renewed. So after I had taught for about a month, my contract was ready for renewal, and that was no big deal. Now VIPKID has just released, this came out this week, they have just released a new option to block out your schedule. So if you know ahead of time you'll be going on vacation, you'll be going on maternity leave or whatever, you can set those dates in your calendar on your portal as like blacked out. I don't know how it appears to parents or not, but you can put a message like there's an option for maternity leave, and then you would put a message about when you're coming back, which is really helpful. It's great. People have been asking for this for a long time, and hopefully it works well. I haven't had to try it yet. But yeah, so that was my experience with VIPKID and maternity leave. As I said, my situation was pretty unique because I think most teachers come back after a couple weeks, few weeks, sometimes even a couple months. But yeah, 6 months was a long time, but I'm happy to be back, and just going to try to make it work for as long as I can. All right, take it easy, y'all. I'll see you next time.